Hello and welcome to Family Dynamics. It's Katherine.
It's Liz.
And Ed. And John.
So we're now fully into the Christmas season. I had to get rid of my pumpkin creamer because I really could not make through it all. I just was like, okay, It's over. It is done.
It's not Christmas, and don't get rid of something that's still useful.
2 days before. John is like it's not Christmas until 2 days before. Eric put up the Christmas lights the day after Thanksgiving. I mean, they were up immediately.
Yeah, Mark tried to do the Christmas lights Thanksgiving weekend, but he has these special hooks that the light string hooks into or clips into.
Oh, like that are already on the house, you mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And because we did those COVID lights where we left them up for like a year, they're just solid white. We weren't insane.
Sure.
But, I don't judge you if you had colored Christmas lights all
just
up.
be festive.
Fine,
yeah, sure.
We were solid
just,
white.
Yeah, to be positive.
And most of those little clips broke over the year.
Okay,
So Mark bought a box of new ones that really did not work. And I was watching from one of the windows as they strung them up and they all came down. It was a disaster. So our lights are not up for that reason because he's trying to figure out like
the new plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I agree with you. John is wrong. The day after Thanksgiving, well, really, I'll give it the full weekend, right? The Monday after Thanksgiving weekend, pumpkin is done.
It is done.
It is done.
It's done.
It's done. And it's 2 months because I really go October, Halloween, all the way through Thanksgiving. You can give me anything pumpkin. I don't like a pumpkin latte, though. It's like drinking a slice of pumpkin pie. But, pumpkin pie, pumpkin cookies, pumpkin bread, I can go for all of that. But the Monday after, we have now transitioned. Now there is a small window. This year we had a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right? We had 3 more days of November.
Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm.
So I didn't do my peppermint, chocolate, eggnog.
I mean, that's all. As soon as December 1,
right.
You cannot
December 1. John, get in on her creamer and maybe you can still finish it for her.
Oh, no, it's gone. It's long gone. Yeah, because I was the only one drinking it anyway. And then as soon as I was over it, I was like, oh, no. Now it's time for peppermint, chocolate, and gingerbread, which is, the cousin of pumpkin, but it's definitely December gingerbread.
Yes, I agree. Mm-hmm. I made the mistake of bizarrely having it at Thanksgiving, and it paid me back in spades because it literally was the vegan one. It was so dry by dessert that you could have choked somebody. So it was like, I am not ready for the season either. The bread was saying to me, you are having me too early.
I feel like it doesn't exist, but there should be the perfect in between Thanksgiving and December, like pumpkin snap cookies. Or just the end of that and the beginning of this. Okay.
Yeah, probably. Well, I feel like my pfeffernusse cookies that Trader Joe's
do they not do them?
They discontinue them to literally. It's my deep sorrow. That is one of the things they have discontinued. They're kind of spice cookies, like you're saying.
Yeah, it's like a gingerbread family with a
sort of like, but all spice. Like so I would have them out, and they kind of look like little snowballs because they're covered in this hard powdered sugar. And Trader Joe's made the best ones. I would put them out Thanksgiving, and we'd roll all the way into Christmas with those. So those were the crossover cookie. And Trader Joe's betrayed us. I'm calling you out, Trader Joe's. Bring back your pfeffernusse.
Betrayer Joe's.
Because it took me about 5 years to even figure out how to pronounce those freaking things.
I know, I'm very impressed. Yeah, good job.
And there's another company that if you go to World Market, formerly known as Cost Plus, they have another brand that doesn't even compare.
Oh, no.
Hideous.
Okay.
And I've fallen for it probably 3 times.
Because they look good.
No, there's the pfeffernusse because they're such a weird cookie. Why I even know about them is Kendall Jenner, who I used to work with, loved them as well.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
And I think I was at her house and she's like, these are so good. I'm like, well, I've seen them, but what do they taste like? They're so weird. She's like, they taste sort of like a gingerbread. And I'm like, oh, I love gingerbread. I mean, this goes back like 10 or 12 years ago. And I took a bite of it and I was like, oh, that is delicious. So I bought them every year until they discontinued them for some mysterious reason. They were a seasonal thing. So I can go on a rant forever about these.
Listen, I don't know that you're going to get any discount, but you just need to hit up Kendall and say, drop a line of cinnamon spice cookies, and you're going to be a double billionaire.
I know. Yeah, this is a really untapped market. Pfeffernusse. Make it happen. Make the dream come out. Or just call it Trader Joe's, and then they'll be shamed into doing it. Just something like that. So I still have not found a brand or a bakery or anything that makes equivalent, but that is your crossover cookie, Eddie, for sure.
The only thing that is sort of the leftover of Thanksgiving that I'm still living through is we had a bathroom debacle that happened right before Thanksgiving, and we're still kind of working through at this point.
Which is your nightmare, because you've often said the reason why you've been hesitant to host a huge party, because you're like, well, I don't know. I mean, what if like our toilet gives out?
Well, that also, we do have a very small house. It just, it would be a bit cramped if you're not able to utilize the outdoor space, which also we have almost no outdoor furniture. So we'd be like, just go stand out there.
But there's something about consolidated energy. Just cram everybody together.
Everybody in this tiny, what do you call it? A galley kitchen, this long, whatever.
Actually,
anyway.
just get all the furniture out. Don't have any chairs. And then it's a standing party only.
Yeah.
Plenty of room.
Eat a hot dog and get out. No, I don't know.
Oh my gosh. So what happened?
Okay. So right before Thanksgiving, Eric had decided, how did this go? Oh, the kids' bathroom, or like the first bathroom. So we have a small bathroom attached to our bedroom, and then a second bathroom that is like the main bathroom. That's the kids' bathroom. The diverter on the tub. So when you pull that little plug up, it's called a diverter, and it turns it into a shower, right? So you pull that up, it was kind of broken. And Adam is very rough. So he was kind of like not able to deal with it very well, that it was broken and you had to kind of wiggle it or it wouldn't go down or like whatever. So Eric was like, we got to replace that. Okay, fine. A couple days before Thanksgiving, he's like, we're going to go in through the back of our sink, because they're kind of back to back, these two bathrooms. So it required ripping our sink out. Initially, he didn't think they were going to have to do that.
Wait, what?
Okay, so the plumber comes and he's like, I think I can just cut a hole in the drywall behind the sink and be able to do it. No, I can't. Now I got to take the sink out, and now there's this huge hole in the drywall, whatever. But now he's accessed the back of the kids' shower, bath shower, whatever combo, and he's put in the new plumbing. Great. Oh, God, there's a whole other part of this story. All right, so he does that. It takes him almost all day, because it was not as easy as he thought it was going to be. It was a whole fiasco. This is, I think, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. He gets it all done. He's wrapped up. He's left. And then Adam goes in and is using our bathroom to, do a number one, just a little pee. And the pipe literally bursts and starts shooting water out at Adam.
Jeez.
Who is not totally aware or have any sense of modesty. So he came running out of the bathroom, and Eric's friend Howard was over, and Eric was like, this was like full Winnie the Pooh, a t-shirt, nothing on the bottom, just like, and Eric's like, whoa, dude, back in your room. Like, what are you, no.
Oh my God.
And it's so later that night, Adam and I was trying to talk to him about it, and I was like, what happened in the bathroom? It is broken. I was like, yeah, it was broken.
Yeah, and for those of you that maybe haven't listened to previous podcast, Adam is
on the spectrum.
Yes. So
and he's this is also like naked man, because he is a grown 19-year-old person, but very unaware of his own body and modesty, and he sort of skews very young.
Right.
It would be like almost like a toddler running out without their pants on. That's sort of what he was like. There's water in the bathroom.
There's a problem. Fix it.
Okay, so
and
that
all the time, like, you don't have guests over all the time.
No,
I mean, this happens then.
Eric said it was very funny because Howard, who does know Adam well enough, he knows he's on the spectrum, and he knows, that there's problems communication wise and whatever, kind of looked away like, Adam, maybe I shouldn't be. There is a half naked man running around.
Oh God.
So get Adam back in his room, get him some pants on, whatever, have to call the plumber back and be like, what is going on? And he has to come and like fix that, but had to turn off the water in our bathroom. Meanwhile, the vanity with the sink is like ripped out, and Eric now is like looking at the tile floor in our little tiny bathroom, and he's like, God, I've always hated it. Should we just use this opportunity to replace the tile in our bathroom. And I'm like, I mean, sure. It was white, very small tile with white grout that was impossible to keep clean. And Eric, if nothing else, very clean.
Yes, neat freak.
Yes, he, opposite of a hoarder, will just throw things away, wants things to be neat and streamlined and whatever. He's like, oh God, this tile. Can we just get rid of this tile? I'm like, okay, sure. So this is, I think, Wednesday. He demolishes the tile in our bathroom, which of course requires you also have to pull the toilet out. So now, in a 2-bath house, we have one bathroom that is functioning now with this new shower situation is fine. Everything's good. We have totally destroyed our little tiny bathroom. There is no sink. There is no toilet. There is like chips of tile all over the floor. It's just totally disintegrated. Okay, fine. That night, Wednesday night, pre-Thanksgiving, Adam has some tummy troubles, and somehow the toilet gets clogged. The one toilet that is working is now not working.
Oh my God.
At 9:30 at night the day before Thanksgiving. Oh my goodness. So, and of course, immediately Sarah and I are both like, we both totally need to pee now. Like, what are we gonna, this is horrendous. What do you mean? I think that's actually how it got discovered. Sarah was like, I have to pee. It looks like the toilet is not flushing. And I was like, what? Because the other toilet is now detached and in the dining room. So you're like, well,
oh my God.
It's going to flush. It's not going where you want it, though.
Oh my God.
So sure enough, Eric, who had been demolishing the bathroom all day, he had gone to bed. Like, he goes to bed early. It was 9:30. He was like, I'm so sore, blah, blah, blah. At like 8 o'clock, he was like, I'm just going to go to bed. So we have to go in and be like, honey, I of course did this because that's why I'm saying honey. Honey, yeah, the toilet seems clogged. I can plunger it, but where is the plunger? Because, you know, he's put it away somewhere mysterious. I don't even know where it is. Like, great. So he groggily gets up. He's like, what? Okay, all right. He goes and gets the plunger. 20 minutes of plunging. He has a snake. So he tries to snake the toilet. I mean, he's very, very handy. He's like, this is not working.
This is just the worst. Imagine being in dead sleep, like, hi.
I mean, it was...
wake up and deal with a clogged toilet.
Have you been dealing with the bathroom all day? Well, guess what? We'd like to wake you up and deal with the bathroom.
More.
Yeah, the other bathroom. The only upside to this is it was just clear water. Like,
thank you for, I had visions, so thank you for clarifying.
Thank goodness it was just like whatever had happened. And we were like, did Adam drop something in there and just not tell us? Because he would never even, it wouldn't even occur to him to be like, I dropped the timer in there, because we keep a little timer in the bathroom so he doesn't stay on the toilet for an hour. We're like, here, set the timer for like 10 minutes. And then if nothing happens, take a shower. But yeah, we're like, what? No, the timer's
like that
here.
Idea.
Yeah,
there's someone in my life that could use that.
So, yeah, we never got an answer if something got dropped down there because, you know, at the conclusion of the story, I made a joke. I was like, was there a sock? Like, what happened? Was there any reason? No, we don't know. It was a mystery. But at this point, it's just clear water and it's just not flushing, and there's plunging, then there's snaking. And then I think at like 10 o'clock at night, maybe 10:15, 10:30, Eric's like, I have to call a plumber at like, you know.
A different plumber than you've been dealing with?
Yes, because that guy was just the like put in the pipes for this other thing. Now you need a 24-hour like roto-rooter type of plumber,
my God.
Which I didn't even know existed. And then I'm like, oh God, what's that going to cost at 10 o'clock at night the day before Thanksgiving? Yeah, a lot is the answer to that question. So about 10:30 or whatever, he calls, or maybe it was earlier, and then within an hour, some kind of scruffy young man comes to the house, and he's like, hi, you know, what's going on? And Eric, at this point, and I think Eric was hoping that he could not have to pay this 24-hour plumber and whatever it was going to cost. He had some little suction tool, was able to get all the water out of this toilet and then remove the toilet. What? Eric is incredibly handy. Like, he just does things, and you're like, how do you even, with confidence, know how to pull up the toilet? So now that toilet is like...
Oh, boy, I would be very nerve-wracked.
Yeah, it's off the thing and sideways, and he's, like, trying to, like, make sure there's no obstruction in the physical toilet. Now you can look down under the house, and you're like, I don't see anything, whatever. So now we're like, well, the guy is coming, I guess, because... So now we have two completely non-usable reusable toilets, both not even attached to the house at this point. It was like, oh my God.
You have the worst porta potties ever.
I mean, Eric did joke at one point. He's like, I do have like an earthquake kit pee in a bag situation. We're like, okay, we're not.
It might get to that.
Yeah.
I believe it's a bucket.
Oh, it might be a bucket.
Oh.
Anyway.
Remember that porta toilet that we had when we drive across
the
the United?
family trips, we had a little portable toilet. Yeah.
Was it blue?
Yes, the chemical solution was blue.
And it kind of looked like an igloo, but circle.
With like a little topper that you sit on.
Yes, and it was really for the kids that we would be driving across country, possibly through the desert or in a mountain range, that there was just no place.
Yeah, it was emergency potty.
Yeah, which, gosh, the decorum. Like, boys just should have gone outside and peed, which I know that was something that you guys did at some point. But I definitely remember seeing like a younger sibling, like in the middle of like a cornfield, like squatting on that pot. And you're just like, what is happening? Like,
well, we would have probably needed that if this hadn't gone the way that it did.
It's probably still in Mom's garage somewhere.
Oh, don't even say that. That sounds alarming.
Oh, that stayed with the trailer.
A 1970s.
Oh, we gave it as a gift.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just keep it.
Extra bonus, extra bathroom available, portable bathroom.
Oh, gosh. So, yes, this young, scruffy man came and he was very nonchalant, but slightly impressed that Eric had removed the toilet.
He's like, whoa, hey.
There was no discount associated with the pre-work.
Oh, he thought we did pre-labor and that was going to give him a discount?
No, he was. Eric was definitely hoping that if he pulled up the toilet, he would just be able to fix it and then cancel the guy coming. But that didn't work out. So the guy did his like real snake, because Eric's snake, he was like, that's like a toy. You put it on the end of your drill and it can do some things, but it obviously this was.
I know Mark likes a snake that can like reach. You'll do it in the toilet, and he'll be doing it's a crank thing. Keeps doing it, and I'm like,
is it going to come out in the sink?
I'm like,
What is
how
it gonna
far
do?
down are you going? He's like, I like to get to the street. What?
I like to get a flat tire if I can. Just right out of the sewer.
So I'm like, how far are you constantly going? I think it might be a route, I mean, so the snake is, I didn't realize we had one either until we had a problem one time, but
Yeah.
yes.
So this is apparently not the level of a true plumber
Professional
snake.
snake.
Yeah. So this young man, he does the snake, puts the toilet back on. It was then working again. We were all very relieved at 11 o'clock at night to have a working toilet. Because, of course, Eric's like, come here, let me show you our other bathroom that is in total shambles right now with no toilet. And yeah, so.
But he left that one as is because he's working his new tile around, right?
Well, yeah, because I was like, can you put the toilet back on that one? He's like, I don't think so. Because, like, there's no floor for it to even, like, sit on now. It's, like, all totally ripped up.
So Eric's Thanksgiving project has been retiling your bathroom floor?
Yes. And the reason we're still dealing with it was first that plumbing debacle, which was right at Thanksgiving.
So that toilet got back on, fixing, functional, no idea why really there was an issue, but
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, because I made the joke with the scruffy young man. I'm like, so was there anything? He's like, no, I don't know. I'm like, not like a sock or a timer or a Wiggles toy or nothing? Okay, we don't know.
His
Just a
cell
mystery.
phone.
Yeah, we're like, we did a cell phone count. They all seem to be accounted for. I don't know, whatever. So anyway, yeah, it did get up by Thanksgiving, which was good. But then we still had our totally ripped apart, destroyed bathroom with no floor. And Eric and Howard had pulled out the vanity. And in the process, really, it was not able to be put back because it got kind of dinged up and screwed up and the wall got ripped up. So that had to be repaired. It's like, oh my God, it's been going on for, a while. Now it has nice tile floor. The toilet has just...
What is the tile floor?
It's it went from that small white with the white grout, which he hated, to just a large tan
Lego pieces.
Yeah. No, it's like a nice tan, regular size big tiles with tan grout. It's kind of just innocuous.
And he did that all himself?
No. Oh, Howard came over and helped. Howard is his longtime friend and a contractor, and we actually met him one of our very first houses. He came and did a bunch of work on it, and they've been friends ever since. But Howard knows how to do absolutely everything. And then apparently it is very funny because he'll be hanging out with Eric and be like, do you have this tool? Do you have that tool? Do you have this? And Eric's like, no. Because I am not a contractor and never was. I don't have a wet saw. I don't have I don't know. That's why you're here. How do you cut this tile? I don't know. But they put in the floor together, and Eric said that Howard just knew all these amazing tricks. And he's like, I mean, I could have done it, but it would have taken twice as long and been not as good. So it was awesome that Howard was just hanging out and doing it. But then it was also the vanity, so we had to go and get a new vanity. So there were multiple trips to Home Depot/Lowe's to like find the right one, which then ironically we got one that was almost identical to the one we took out, even though Eric was like, I feel like it's time to do an upgrade and like make it nicer. Nope, it's just gonna be the same white, simple, oh well, but at least it's like not dinged up, and you know, the wall got repaired, so that was good. The toilet got put back in. It was an ordeal though. And it is funny because you're like, poor Adam must have been thinking like, what is going on? We're like, you know, this one bathroom exploded on me. And then, but now we're kind of over that. But that was like Thanksgiving and then on for a while. But now it's finally wrapped up. I feel like it's
a Christmas miracle early.
I think Adam would have been able to understand what was going on if you just put up a pardon our progress sign.
Yeah. Pardon our mess. And yeah. So, and it's funny because now the tile in that little bathroom looks like, well, wasn't it always like that? Because it kind of matches the other bathroom. So it's like, they're both like that. It's like, oh, no, it was a huge ordeal. But now this tiny bathroom has the same tile as the other bathroom.
You ripped off a small Band-Aid and turned to a gusher.
Oh, yeah. It was ridiculous. But
there's so many home improvement projects on TikTok and Instagram that, you know, they're so inspiring, and you know, they show the whole before and after in usually like a 90-second, 3 minutes is long actually for these videos.
Oh yeah.
So you're just like, wow, I could transfer my whole space so easily. You're like, that probably took 3 fucking months.
Yeah.
So my old house, I did a lot of sort of projects like that. Mm-hmm. This house, I have not really taken on anything in construction, or because we had linoleum floors in some of our rooms in our old house, and there was this great British painter, I cannot remember her name, but she had a British show where she would do these painting projects that were incredible. Mm-hmm. And she painted linoleum floors with basically boat paint. The fumes alone that I'm alive is shocking. But I did probably 1, 2, and
you did the counters. Didn't you do like a tile painting job in one of the bathrooms too?
Oh gosh. There's some things, a lot of paint projects. And I did, remember, I'm sure a lot of you remember, it was like you would take a rag, and it was like a rolling thing. So it would create
age.
Age in my bathrooms. And people like loved it. I will say 2 years later, I was like, I'm going to die if I don't get a roller and just get rid of all this freaking aged, rolled out.
Yeah, the textured look.
Oh yeah, Vaz. But you know, it is you think you can look at your bathroom floor and be like, why can't I reach out? I've watched so many people redo their hardwood floors.
Yeah.
That I've literally been tempted and thought, well, do I want to give my life for a month and be in total construction zone? It's like, it inspires you, but it's not realistic usually that you can do it yourself.
Well, I think the only sad thing about this is the before and after are incredibly similar. It's
not
like
drastic.
Yeah, it's like, well, it's still a very tiny bathroom with an almost identical vanity and just a slightly different colored floor. That's
for a lot of work.
That is kind of part of the course for your home improvement or repair projects.
Yeah, often they are very womp womp, underwhelming, because it's like you're almost just trying to get back to where you started, where it's like, ooh, we had to rip up the floor in this bathroom for an underground plumbing leak. And it still looks exactly the same after you spent how much? Good Lord, that's sad.
If you'd have taken a picture of Eric in the bathroom and as a before, not knowing that you're going to do all of this, he'd have like a mildly irritated look on his face, like, this tile. And now, no expression whatsoever.
Yeah, this tile is fine. No, I think he's very happy with the tile. But now we've had a whole debate over, we have a fake Christmas tree, and I am fine with putting it up early-ish. He has not done it, which I am shocked at this point that he has not put it up, because I think he is still debating if he wants to buy a real tree, which I'm like, no. Don't buy a real tree. It always ends up being like pine needles everywhere, and like we have this very nice pre-lit tree in a box in the garage. Just break that out. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, we always did real Christmas trees up until about 2 or 3 years ago. We used to do a family affair to go pick out the Christmas tree. And you do have to go early. I mean, if you want anything good at like the big places, like Target doesn't really do it anymore, but they used to.
Listen, that's a 360-degree problem. We've got half of our trees up against a wall. We do not need to go early.
Yeah, well, that's
Mom's house. Yeah.
Yeah. That is one of those, are you worried about the entire circular span of the Christmas tree, or can one side really look like it ran over by a
Yeah,
truck?
just
turn
be
that
kind of
side to
janky.
the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're where you typically put your tree. There's a lot of
There is
all
a
around
l-
access.
There is a little corner that maybe you won't see that backside. But then there were a couple years I was too busy and I'd send Mark and Ethan, and inevitably it would get back and I'd be like, how did you not see that? Like that huge hole or that huge broken branch. And they would always say like, oh my gosh, that was not there. That was not there. It's like, yes, it was. Oh, maybe they switched the tree at the
Oh my gosh, that would be
always all this
hysterical.
stuff. You're like, no. So
It's a tree lot conspiracy. You pick out a really good tree and then they like bundle it up and give you some janky tree that they've been trying to unload.
I'm like,
what?
didn't you follow it from point, A to point Z typically, with the swap in the back room? Like, no. I mean, we've done the big fancy Christmas lots, but that there is a significant markup. So if you go early enough to a Home Depot, Lowe's, they will have, because we need a tallish Christmas tree.
Yeah.
They'll have options.
Noble Fern, that's the one with thicker.
Mark
I love that
Mark
one.
likes to go back and forth, like, because I like the Noble, because growing up we would buy the less expensive one, which is the Douglas, which does not have strong branches. So you'd put all of our homemade and all of our fancy or our heirloom type of ornaments on it, and a lot of times the tree would be like, I can't hold this.
They would wilt under the pressure.
Right.
What is this made of? Actual brass? Oh my God.
Yeah, exactly. So I always say, oh no, I want the Noble because it's gonna be stronger.
Yeah, it has kind of a sturdier branch.
Yep. And then Mark all season is just so worried about the water level, and it's not taking any more water now.
Well, that's the other reason I am, advocating for. First, we already have this tree. Just put it up whenever you're ready. Put it up. It's fine. But also, I don't want the distraction of like we got to water it and watch it and make sure it's okay and like. Ugh,
Well, Mark got a
Lord.
special funnel that's like really long.
Oh, no.
And he can because then you have to bend down. But I inevitably will catch him lying on the floor, like putting his finger, reaching in and getting his finger in the air. Oh, God, it's low. Get the funnel, and like it's so much. So I had finally like had it, and he saw on like a Martha Stewart special like how she would light a Christmas tree. And it's a special technique where you wind the light strand around the branch, then
What the?
it is so much to undo in the end. It's insane. So, and of course you have to take the lights off before you put it out in the recycling bin or like,
Of course.
So, it always is such a big production. So shockingly, and you have to understand, Mark, whose family celebrates Hanukkah, is half Jewish, would also do Christmas decorations. And Hal, my father-in-law, in his youth, ran a Christmas tree lot on Wilshire Boulevard in Beverly Hills.
Oh my God, I remember that now. Mm-hmm.
And because he was Jewish, it was like, great, I'm not busy. I mean, I can work all the way Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, whenever.
Christmas Day, 6 p.m. Still available.
Yeah,
Need
pretty
'em?
much. Discount. So that was his job, like in his youth, like in his young 20s. He had this lot, and he'd sleep on the lot in a little trailer.
Oh gosh.
Because you have to protect your Christmas trees from anybody stealing them in the middle of the night. And he was asleep one night and was awoken by such a loud clamoring. He thought
It was Santa Claus.
Santa Claus is robbing me of my Christmas trees. But he thought, oh my gosh, someone's.
He arose to such a clatter.
Yes, exactly. He did think that someone had pulled up a truck and was just
Oh geez.
taking. So he jumps up, and I have been privy to this due to earthquakes and various things in my younger days, sleeping at Mark's, at our parents' house. He only sleeps in his underwear, and he likes to take off running if there's a issue. Running where? I don't know. So I think he had like a shotgun. I don't know if he maybe just had a monkey wrench or a bat, or he had something and he jumped.
The axe that the trees were cut down with.
Maybe. So he goes running out of his trailer after this truck that is taken off right from his, right by his lot. So he goes running after it in his underwear down Wilshire Boulevard.
Oh my God.
And the truck pulls over, and it's a trash truck. And the guy's like,
What's
dude,
up, dude?
what are you doing? And he's like, oh my God, oh my God. So then, of course, he brings the guy back to his lot. It's like, 3 a.m, and pick out any tree you want. So that was very Hal. So I think he was traumatized by that. So by the time Mark, was being brought up. They did not have a Christmas tree, not every year, because my mother-in-law is Baptist, so she celebrates Christmas. So it wasn't always predictable what and how they'd get a Christmas tree. He liked a flocked Christmas tree, which I just think is horrendous. And now there's that trend where people flock them colors. Like, have you seen the pink ones?
What?
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
I had a client that we were doing a sort of a photo shoot for some project, and we went to a Christmas tree lot. Mm-hmm. And she then decided, like, oh, I want a bunch of the stuff. I want the garland. I want a wreath. I want this flocked Christmas tree. And I'm like, looking at her, I'm like, well, how the hell are we getting it home? I mean, I have, an SUV, but I'm still no. So, of course, this is not my phase of saying no or really having a lot of boundaries. So I was like, all right, put it all in and around my car. I'm still finding pink fucking flocking in my car to this day. It's
my God.
Sort of. John's like, not really. But it lasted for quite a while. It's so gross. So I'm not a big fan of flocking. But the famous Christmas tree story was Jan was working at like Robinson's May, I think at the time, and in the Christmas department. And what's awesome is that, back then it was like a heavy employee discount. So, and then they change out their decor seasonally. So she, at the end of one season, bought some Christmas decorations that she held to the following year. So when I walked in her house, I was like, what the hell is that? So it was a suspended Christmas tree from a hook, and it was made out of like very dense foiled, almost like garland. But it would spiral down from the ceiling. So it was sort of like a spiraling Christmas tree. So this was her version of the Christmas tree. I've never seen it since because I walked in and I said, oh my gosh, it's like a Christmas pube.
Oh, no.
And that was, she was so, I have ruined a couple of things in the Roman family. Smoked meats, the Christmas foil spiraling down. It's so hideous. And now I've said to her, go, God, where is it? I would die to have that today because it
sounds kind of amazing. It sounds like a giant Christmas tree slinky just kind of hanging in your living room.
And I'm like, of course, like, no, Liz, you ruined that for me. It's long gone. So, I, fast forwarding to our own house, our own relationship, tons of real Christmas trees with tons of holes and broken branches over the years, or like, that's not even going to hold one ornament, or Mark taking forever to light it, and then the water catastrophes. We were in Costco, and listen, man, if you're in Costco in October, they've got some early Christmas stuff out that
you got to grab it.
I'm like, holy crap, that tree looks awesome. It's the right height. It's a strong branch. I go, I think I want to buy it. He goes, no, I don't know. Let me think about it. Well, this is a classic Mark. The week later, I come home. Ethan and Mark have gone to Home Depot, so not a Costco. And Home Depot has a lot of Christmas stuff as well. And so this tree is like half the price, but he thinks it looks just as good. And they've set it up to dazzle me.
Uh-oh.
And this is one of those things I'm like, we're both looking at the same thing, right? I mean, it's not just me seeing this.
It's not dazzling.
It was so weird.
Oh.
It would have the branches that you almost installed in this metal rod that was supposed to be the center of the Christmas tree.
Oh.
But there'd be no faux branches for the first almost what do you think, John?
You'd full foot, maybe at least.
Yeah. So you could see in the center was just rods of metal.
Oh, no.
And then near the end was okay, now we're going to fake nettles. And, I was like, and Mark's like, no, you just wind the lights around, or maybe we'll get garlic. He's trying to make it work. He's trying to sell this to me. I'm like, it is horrible. That is horrible. I'm like, I don't understand how you would make that work. I can see the metal, base, the arms,
It's not quite as bad as the Charlie Brown Christmas tree, but you paid for this?
I don't,
yeah.
But I didn't even,
or the Festivus pole.
Yeah.
Who designed this? What was their point? You could literally see it was a robot's idea of I am Christmas tree. Don't worry, I'm coming to invade you, but you're gonna think I'm a Christmas tree. It was no, I can see all your inner workings, all your metal wiring. It was so odd.
It's kind of all of those cell towers that are made to look like
Exactly.
You don't really look like a tree.
Mark,
you could, but you don't.
That 100% should be something that is actually being sold right now. Cell phone tower style Christmas trees.
That's exactly what it looked like. You want good reception?
You could hang 20-pound. You could hang a freaking kettlebell on this tree, guys.
You could. You want good reception? Don't don't worry, we're going to put a tower right in your living room. That's exactly what's happening. We're all like, well, I don't know, Mark, but wow, my signal's stronger than
So
ever.
good.
I
4
got
bars.
you 5G for Christmas.
Basically. So, of course, he's trying to sell it to me because what he doesn't want to do is break it down, put it back in the box, have to go back and return it.
Yeah.
And then go get the right tree at Costco.
But what he damn well knows is that, like, this is awful. Like, we're looking at the same thing. So he did. And Ethan, of course, like, Mom, I totally agreed with you, but I just couldn't stop him. I'm like,
Wait, he did what? He returned it?
Ethan, yeah, of course.
Oh, okay.
Can't turn down a bargain. It's hard to turn down a bargain.
I know.
But, you get what you pay for. So we broke down and bought the Costco investment. So we'll probably have that hopefully for the next 20 years of our lives until, it really, but it's got like 4 or 5 light settings. And I just really like the solid white because then there's also like a different color, practically disco setting where it's like blink. I mean, it'll give you a seizure. So you're like, I don't.
No thanks.
But then, of course, Mark and Ethan just like during dinner love to like play with the remote. You're like, my gosh, just leave it on something. But it's a lot of options. So just like Eric, Mark will bust it out pretty early because it's not that there's no water, there's no gain at level, there's none of that.
I have not told you this, but
no.
The week of Thanksgiving, I was leaving the house, your house, and you had already gone, and all of a sudden this tree, it was a tree, but a truck rolled by and it had a ginormous Christmas tree on it. I was like, is this 10 feet? Is this 12 feet? This is, like full 8 to 10 feet bottom, taller than that truck. It was crazy. I was like, where's this going? They stopped at the house next to you. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need to know everything. But then they pulled out just a regular tree from the side and brought that into, so they brought that into the house. And then it took like 10 minutes. I was like, what is happening? What's going to happen with this big tree? It can't even fit inside that house. It's going to go outside. It's going to be so exciting. And then they drove away with it. So
they're doing tree deliveries.
Yeah.
Yes, my neighbor got Christmas lights out pre-Thanksgiving. I mean, we're talking like the reindeer. He does a very interesting polar bear that's looking down at a puddle of water.
Wait, what? Wow, okay.
It's a small amount. So there was almost an incredible tree that was going to be outside. It was going to be very exciting. It didn't happen.
Because you can get a 10-foot plus tree in our main room. And our neighbor probably has a similar main room because same building, builder. So you can take a very tall tree, but that's going to be dead before Christmas for sure.
Yeah.
I saw somebody the weekend after Thanksgiving in like the CVS, shopping center with a tree strapped to the top of its roof. And I thought, are Christmas tree lots already open?
Well, that's even when we were going and looking for the vanity for the post-Thanksgiving bathroom debacle. They already had their tree lots out. That's actually when Eric first was like, maybe we should get a real tree. I'm like, no, please don't.
I mean,
don't trouble yourself. That's my thing. He's like, you love it. I'm like, I don't really.
I have tried to get Ethan, our son, because of, normally I'm not like a big Black Friday, Cyber Monday, but that weekend I was really like, Ethan, I need your Christmas list because both Mom and Dad and probably Santa would like a break on, now you're in the tech zone of your life, right? So you're probably going to ask for stuff that like maybe I could get a deal on it. What, John?
I mean, how many years has he done it on like the 23rd or 24th?
Oh, the worst.
No. Oh,
the
geez.
worst. And I just, when your phone brings up memories, and there was a memory of him like in kindergarten. He was going up to Santa to ask for a gift at the the school Christmas lunch, and they all wear their little pajamas. And he goes up like, and he goes to Santa. He's like, hi, and he's like kind of talking to him. And I hear him go like, Lego train. You want a Lego train? Yeah, I want the Lego train. And he walks off like, duh, 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 duh. So then fast forward to Christmas, he's opened up most of his gifts, but wait, where's Santa's gift? Oh, it's by the fireplace, and opens up the Lego train, exactly what I wanted. And I'm like, oh, it's so cute, Santa gift. But I remember, yes, we have a neighbor that has a direct pipeline, a mailbox that goes right to the North Pole.
Of course it does.
And you write a letter and you actually usually get one back from Santa. But, there have been years of like forcing him to write the letter basically on Christmas Eve morning. He's like, it's too late. I'm like, no, I'm looking at the Santa tracker. And
I mean, Santa is magical, so don't worry about it.
And
It would be too late if it was UPS, but you're fine with
No,
this.
Santa's still over Iceland or whatever. Like, it's still, you got time. So this year, now I'm doing with a teenager. So I'm like, hey, man, you got to like give me some hints or write a list because, like I said, like some discounts, like to get maybe, that's the one thing I'd like to get a little ahead on. But he's no help whatsoever.
Oh, perfect.
He thinks we read his mind. It's like insane.
Well, in the end, that's kind of what's
I
ended
know
up
it still
happening.
works out. Because I mean, when we were kids, we all had to write lists.
Did we? I don't remember that.
Oh, and I remember the one year I so thought I had figured out around the Barbie because we were not allowed to have Barbies. Remember?
Correct. Mhm.
Mom was way
Go
way
ahead.
ahead of her time in the
She
sense
thought they
of
were
like-
sexist. Which,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even Barbie has had sort of an evolution of how they view themselves. So, but of course, a kid wants what they can't have, and you go over to most of your friend houses and they had some sort of Barbies. So it was such a bummer, man. It was like, so Barbie had come out with just a bust that was like maybe scaled down to like half of like a real
or
person
like a
size.
third or
Yeah.
fourth or something, but it was to learn how to style hair or do makeup
hair
or
or
something.
makeup.
Yeah.
So I thought, oh,
Practice makeup on this high gloss plastic. It's just like your pores.
Also,
Yeah.
that and also, Mom was not a super fan of us wearing makeup, so I'm not sure that this was a great plan. But
I
go on.
still had figured it out. So I'm like, it's not really a Barbie, but I can finally tell my friends that I got something Barbie. Because usually, you go back to school or there was one or two friends that like I would talk to them and we'd recount what we got.
Of course.
And, everything was off brand with us. It was like, oh God. So I was like, I have figured out how to get a Barbie. I so thought I had figured it out. Yeah, no, that didn't work either.
The main thing I remember about Christmases for us, separate from, when we were really little and it was like the surprise plastic kitchen set. I'm like, what? Oh my God, this is amazing. That like mini kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
That was a big year. We had to be like really little, like 4 and 5 or something. But I do remember for years and years and years, the wrapping that we would all get like a bag of some other kid's presents
Yes.
and you would get a roll of wrapping paper, be like, go wrap this.
Go
Doesn't-
wrap James's.
Yeah. Doesn't matter what your skill level is, just get some paper on these weird shaped items.
But it was kind of awesome. So say if I wrapped yours, Eddie, I knew what you were getting. And I knew like one or two of the things you were going to be really excited about. So you'd be like sitting in the car like, oh my God, he's going to like that one. Oh my
yeah,
God.
because it would be like the day before.
Oh, it was always so. And you'd be like, don't come in my room. Who is it? Who's knocking? Don't come in here.
I'm wrapping.
Because
Well, I
Mom-
need the scissors. Well, I'm using the scissors.
The one pair of scissors.
The
And
one
we
roll
have-
of tape
yeah.
we had left that was like double
Use the
stick or
left-handed
something.
Scissors.
Yes. And I will say Mom was smart because her trick was each person got assigned a wrapping paper.
Right.
So
So all of your stuff was in the same wrapping paper.
And so your stocking would have, that was your indication, like, okay, that's your
it had
stocking.
your name and a little swatch of the wrapping
I
paper.
remember one year, Rosemary, like, I felt like I had this one stocking that was definitively mine.
Which
It was-
one? The pink one?
No, it wasn't the pink one. It was like a little more old fashioned. And Rosie, just to fuck with me, I think, decided, like, I want it this year. And it's like, I don't know how Mom and Dad handled Rosie and I. We were such nightmares for like a good chunk. Like, we just knew how to poke each other.
Well, and also, like, you two were doing things all emotional. They were not. They're like, your stuff won't fit in this stocking. We're putting you in the giant stocking because you have a whole box
right.
of crackers or something, and no one else got an entire box of Cheez-Its. You need the big sock. Why is everyone looking at me? I didn't pick out this stocking. I just got the giant stocking for no reason.
Ugh, we're like hatred boiling over.
Freaking Cheez-Its. And you're like, what is Christmas with these Cheez-Its that I'm getting every year?
Cheez-Its, a little packet of travel tissues. Yeah.
A lot of toiletry
Toothbrush.
things. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was a big hint toward teenagers, most likely.
Yeah,
like,
well,
please
and
groom
just
yourselves.
Yeah. When they weren't hints, because everybody got a toothbrush and everybody got gum and everybody got like, some sweet or something like that. That's all good. The year that I got Beano. Yeah.
What? Oh, no.
What? Is this a joke? Yeah, it's funny because then you won't have gassy farts. Well, this seems very insulting in this environment. I'm just going to hold on to this for like 30 years. Cool.
Oh my God, you're still traumatized for the Beano?
I promise you, Mom thinks it's hilarious right now. I will text her and get I loved when I bought you Beano in your Christmas stocking
And
stuffers.
Marb's-
I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, Mom's gonna have a couple gifts or emojis all representing farts too. Well, there was always weird, funny, odd gifts that mom thought she'd really figured something out, and you were like, I'm not the connection. How she had the time or energy is still shocking, but
That was really smart, the wrapping and just doling
I
it
do
out.
it now.
Yeah, it's smart.
I do it now where, Mark has the wrapping paper, so does Ethan. Mark and Ethan have not really figured it out for me. I'm always like, just pick out one for me. Well, we started with one, and then there wasn't enough.
You ran out.
We had to run out. Then we did the other. So typically
But
mine
they
has like
all have, candy canes on them. You're like,
that would be
Yeah, that's how
that
I
would be
figured it out.
impressive. That's not what usually happens. But it's like, okay, but
Well, the wrapping paper uniformly for that person, but then also each kid wraps another kid's presents because I can't wrap 8 kids' presents. This is too many presents.
No,
And
no,
plus, she is a volume person. Like, she wants to get you a lot of stuff.
Yes.
Here's a sweater and some socks and some toys and some other things.
and everything is individually wrapped.
Yes,
individually wrapped
absolutely.
socks.
Yeah.
It's a sock. Is there a pair for this? Which one is can I open them 2 at a time? No.
Now, normally also some kid was the right age to get a bike, which was always fun too.
Yeah. Mhm. For a lot of years.
There was a bike, but it was the kid that had turned.
That's a good
13.
story.
Oh,
John, stop with
got
you
a bike,
two.
maybe. I think John. There was enough of a break that John got a bike at some point.
I remember getting one on my birthday.
Yeah.
That's all I remember.
Maybe it was because the older kids.
There's enough
I
bikes
got
by that time.
I got
Eddie.
like screwdrivers and some wrenches and
Put one
pointed at
together.
which one of the bikes was no longer being used. Good luck. Get some tires. Merry Christmas. Here's a project.
a project,
to me, I'm
project
like,
hand-me-down
oh my God.
bike.
To me, I'm like, all right, which screwdrivers do I get? Those are my screwdrivers now.
Oh
Cool. I'm
my
gonna start taking
God.
things apart starting today.
Oh my, Eddie, oh my goodness. Well, listen, there's always at least, it was a numbers game. There was at least 2 kids that were disappointed for some reason. Rosie usually was a good bet every year.
Oh, yeah.
Every year, that little Grinch had something to be disgruntled about.
Well, it's kind of what you said about Ethan. It's like, as a kid, you do want them / expect them to read your mind and magically
Or follow the list, which they really traditionally did not.
yeah, well,
Yeah, I mean, we had whatever our legitimate disappointment was in not getting the exact gift that we wanted. We didn't have like a last year I got 37. We were never quite that level of irritation.
Dursleys, yeah. Well, I remember the year that mom was so over us 4 older siblings. She just gave us each $100 and basically said, "Go buy yourself your own gifts."
Is that was that the year we ended up with the roller skates?
Hell yes, with my
Okay.
rainbow laces that somebody got rid of in the family garage. I'm looking at you, John.
I assume that is a after Christmas gift, like you got it on Christmas.
Yes.
But how genius a move would that be as a parent if your kids have aged out of the whole Santa Claus thing? Ethan, start listening to this podcast already. There's a lot of information. That at some point, giving them the $100 or the $200 2 weeks before Christmas, go bring your gift to me and I will wrap it. And you can you don't get to use it. You get to know you got it. Christmas is going to be great. And then I'll obviously give you something else. But let the kid go pick it out, then wrap it and force him to wait for 2 weeks. That's
See,
the Christmas
now I
vibe.
just thought something I want for Christmas that I could tell Mark he could pre-wrap it and I can act surprised. Now it falls in the line of that he doesn't trust clumsy Lizzie. So I think I want a new pair of roller skates, but he would be so
Oh,
fearful of me hurting my...
geez.
You too, Catherine?
That seems like a terrible
I used to be a really
idea.
good roller skater.
You need like
And I've got a sports court in the backyard. I can just go out and do turns and...
you need an app connected to your skates that has a proximity sensor, and if the app's like, "Oh, I'm falling too fast," there's like an airbag that pops out of a butt pack.
Trademark it, Eddie. Your idea, develop it. I don't know.
feel like for the hoverboard and for roller skates, there should be like a shimmy into it, blow up bubble that you can put on so that if you do fall, you won't break your tailbone.
Yes, very true. I mean, there has to be, that idea of where does the risk factor and the reward, where's the middle point? So I have to think about it. But that is really tempting to get a new pair of roller skates, John.
Yeah, well, I was already informed by Eric that my Christmas present was tile in the tiny bathroom. So that's what we're getting. We redid our very palatial bathroom.
Hopefully, he saved a couple pieces to wrap them.
That would be
under the
very
tree
funny. He'd just be
for
like,
your present.
"Here."
This tile that's in the bathroom, just a reminder. This has got a keychain thing on it for you, though.
Yeah, I mean, we typically are not big gift givers in that sense anyway. We're always like, what do we need? A new appliance, a new whatever. We're like, that's our gift to us. Okay, done. Everybody's doing their own thing for Christmas, and hopefully it's awesome.
Well, yes, I agree. And now that we're in the thick of the holiday season, we'll just hopefully enjoy it, take some breaths. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. But hopefully it'll be a wonderful holiday season for all of us.
Yeah, I'm going to keep enjoying my peppermint mocha creamer until after the new year.
Too early.
Okay.
No.
Well, all right. Well, anyway, thank you for listening to Family Dynamics, and we hope you all are enjoying the holiday season and the lead up to Christmas. Please follow us on all of our social media at Family Dynamics with a K. And that's it for this episode. Thank you for listening to Family Dynamics.